Hey guys, been a long day of tinkering here on my son's rig. It's almost time for his birthday. I wanted to get everything completely dialed in. The changes I made since the last video were that I put the AX10 shocks back on it because with the shell and everything it's a lot heavier and it needed more support. These are the comp rims from my XR10 that came with it. They're kind of wide. I guess they're like 1.25 inches, something like that wide. These are HB Rover white dots, brand new. Inside here we've got Proline 2-stage memory crawler foams, oversized crawler foams, and two different kinds. And then we've got a weight system inside. So this wheel is extremely heavy, weighted. Okay. And on the outside, it's got what they call a cutting disc or whatever. It's a gray foam disc, about 1/4 inch thick, dense foam. And what it does is it keeps the tire from leaning over when you're making turns. When this thing moves really fast. That's another change that I got. This is a hand-wound motor that I got off of rccrawlerforums.com from the for sale section. It is outstanding. This motor makes a ton of power and torque. It's crazy. This thing used to be like watching paint dry. You could walk slowly beside it and it just kind of growl along. It was like, whoa, my son is going to fall asleep using this thing. So first thing I wanted to do is change the motor. This thing will burn out now. It'll lift a little wheelie when it takes a turn. It'll jump over stuff. It boogies along at a good speed. A really nice clip. Not so fast that it's going to break stuff, but fast enough to make it fun for running over irregular terrain. I wanted to show you something. This is really cool. You know you've got some good foams, good tires, and good suspension when you can just drop it and it doesn't bounce. It doesn't bounce. That's a good 2-foot drop right there. 2 feet. Boom. Settles. It's ready to go again. It's got plenty of articulation. It's got plenty of steering angle for what he needs. Doesn't rub any links or anything. Got a 5,000 milliamp 2S LiPo that's been plastidip, so when we get around to waterproofing everything, he'll be ready for some creek action. I've got a 3S 1,000 milliamp LiPo. This is for the back. Okay. This is for his lighting system. I'll show you that in a minute. Okay. And that adds a little ballast on the back. I've got everything's held down with industrial Velcro, make it easy on him. So it's easy for him to take stuff on and off. XT60 connectors throughout. Okay. So that is the wonderful upgraded AX10. HB Rover white dots, memory foams, weight system, nice suspension. Alright, let me direct your attention to something truly outstanding. Look at this Parma 56 Baja short course. Supposedly 1/10, but oh my god, look at how big it is. Okay, well luckily, to make up for the width on this thing, I've got axle wideners in here. But these also have a good offset to them. These wheels are, inset. These wheels are inset. So it all works out really nice to make perfect clearance throughout. Let me show you my wiring setup here. Okay, just so you can see how everything played out. First of all, I've got a heat-formed, custom-routed Lexan crash cab that attaches to the rub rail body posts with body clips. So the whole thing, you just spread it apart a little bit, snap it on, squeeze it together, put in the pins, you're good to go. These are high-intensity surface-mounted LEDs. They're green, just like the fog lamp. I've got all the wiring secured out of the view, so when you're looking in through the vehicle, you don't see a bunch of wires. Okay. This is the light bar. Okay. Made this light bar out of an aluminum extrusion and some cell cast acrylic. And I fit it into the channel there. Fish the wire right there. So that's all like that. Okay. And here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the camera back and try and show you how this all goes together. Okay, so you can kind of see it. It's pretty simple. This, I would put it on something that doesn't scratch it, like a towel. Right? And you just feed the two body posts in one side. Come on now. And you feed the other two in. Okay, and now it's supported by this. It's supported by the Lexan crash kit. Okay. So at this point, it's easy to fiddle with the vehicle. That's when I had a bunch of body clips around here. Let me get the body clips on it so I can make sure everything stays together. So let me show you. Now I made this so that he wouldn't have to be taking this body off all the time. So he could reach inside and get at everything and do everything that he needs to do without having to constantly be screwing with taking a body on and off, on and off. But I also wanted to make it so that if he was interested in trying out some rock crawling or something like that was a little abusive, that he would have the option to take the body all the way off and run without it. I also thought he might have some fun now that it's summertime and he can stay up late with going out at night and doing it at night. So, let me show you how that all came together. Alright, so everything's nice and secure, and if it ever breaks, it's probably going to break at these body posts, so I can just replace those, you know. Those are a cheap part to replace. Here's the wiring setup, and what I've got is I've just got this lead that just goes down to here. It's pretty simple, and to keep everything out of harm's way, what I do is once I've got the body on, I just fish it through. Right, so there it is, fished. Right, and then I can lash it up here. I have a little piece of green Velcro, which is going to be difficult to do one-handed. So what I'll do is I'll put the camera down and I'll show you the lights coming on. Okay, we'll go ahead and just get this lashed down so that that's not an issue. Okay. I just decided to use one of these little Velcro wraps because that way, when he wants to take it off, he doesn't have to have any tools to cut like a wire tie or something, which would be a pain in the butt. What we'll do is just fish this up. I don't want it anywhere near the gears. Actually, I could turn this other way around. It's just Velcro. Now I've got it right into this plug. It's plugged in. And you can have a look at the wonderful green underlighting. There it is. Subtle. You know what I mean? I mean, as subtle as underlighting gets. It's not in your face because it's at the ground. And I'm not sure how much of a glow this you're going to be able to pick up. The camera may not be that sensitive to green. But can you see how, like, you look through the window and it makes the whole inside of the car like a green glow, but gentle green, like sunglasses, like old-fashioned sunglasses green, like the old green window tint sometimes, or the green sun visors they used to have. And here's the green in between the wheels. I like how the red rims match the red flame, right? And I like how the green light bar will match the green underlighting. So when he wants to go for a crawl or trail at night, there he is, he's cruising along, he's got his little underlighting and everything. And I just wanted to show you how the steering and everything all works out just fine with this body. It works out awesome. There's no rubbing, there's nothing. Even with these giant HB Rover white dot crawler tires. This is what the vehicle came with. Let's see, they're smaller. And they don't have much grip. I was very disappointed. And there's that, right? And then you can see there's no rubbing at all in the back. And when he wants to go over bumps or anything, he's going to even be able to take turns while he's going up over a bump without really rubbing the body. And I was thinking about maybe putting duct tape all around the inside of the body. I know it's kind of scummy, But that way, if any sticks or twigs or anything rub the inside of his body, which is usually what happens when I was riding, little sticks, twigs, you get a stick jammed up in there and it'll scratch the paint, scratch it right off. I thought maybe put some duct tape, give you a good look at the stance of it. I think it's just the coolest body. He picked it out. It's what he wanted. I don't have a name for his car. It's his car, so he's going to name it. So right now it's just an AX10 with a 56 Baja Parma shell and some customizing. But you can see why it would be really cool to have those stiff sidewalls. So because I was riding it around with just these foams in it, okay, HB Rover White Dots, stock Hot Bodies foams, okay, barely fill up the tires baggy looking, taking turns, tires rolling all the way over on its side, I mean all the way over. So now it's really stiff. It's got the memory foam in it. This is the dense memory foam in the front, because I think the way he's going to be using his car is high speed, taking a turn, zip, 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 zip. And what you're going to want is the firmest tire to be your steering tire. And in the back, where there's not a whole lot of weight, I've got the super puffy soft foam. And I think it's going to work out great for him. That's sort of opposite of what you might expect on a crawler, but it's not really a crawler. It's more like a trailer kind of zipper arounder. But it is cool. See how the green links, the green, and you can see how it has plenty of articulation. The front shocks are pretty supple. I also have them laid down pretty much. And you can see plenty of articulation without rubbing on the body. I was thinking duct tape all in here, duct tape all around there, anywhere like where the wheels could rub, right up in here, duct tape, so that when he's doing his thing, see, this is a great body shell. It is just a great design. The only place the tire rubs is the trunk, right behind the window. See? It rubs on the trunk, right behind the window. And in the front, it rubs on this area, like right here and here, just a little bit at full articulation. But even with this big shell, it's not too squishy. You know, it will wiggle around a little bit, but not terrible. And I just love how you could just drop it and it doesn't bounce. That is freaking awesome. And look at the stance. It's just badass. It's got a little bit of the tilt forward, which is all suspension. The links are equidistant. Top and bottom links are equidistant. Everything's equidistant. It just has stiffer shocks in the back. And it gives it that little bit of tilt. I love it. I love a nice natural tilt. And I wanted to kind of show you how that green underlighting kind of spices up the links. I think he's just going to go crazy when he sees it. I know I would. This is a car fit for an adult enthusiast. You know, it's got some really nice parts on it. It's got that hand-wound motor, lipo. The only thing that I would improve on this car if it was mine is I'd want a different ESC. But for him, this ESC will be just fine. It's kind of more realistic. It's got brakes, so you have to brake. If you let off the gas, it coasts. So he's going to have to learn to operate the brake to keep from smashing into things. Yeah, he definitely will be smashing into things. But it's Lexan Parma shell. Should hold up. Alright guys, now this is a little bit of a long video, but it's the last video on this car. Any videos after this will be my son using it, because I'm going to go hide it. Charge up all the batteries and hide it, and it'll be all ready for him. Oh, wanted to show you the controller. Got to figure out where I put the controller. Over here. Yeah, here's the controller. Alright. Kind of a nice controller. 3-channel. We've got a 3-channel receiver in there, so if he ever wants to put an optional accessory on or do rear steering or something, we'll be set up for it. It's got a lot of menus and stuff. At first, I wasn't going to give this to him because I thought, oh my god, there's just too much stuff for him. But you know what? He's a pretty smart kid. He's got an iPhone. He's got a tablet. He'll figure it out. No worries. Here, let me turn it on. Okay, so you can check it out. I've got a power switch. I've forgotten where it is now. Here it is. Okay, I've got the power switch. So I'll show you the steering. Don't have quite enough steering that way. I'm not sure why. Got more than enough that way, so I'm going to have to set the endpoints, make sure those are right. I don't want this video to go on forever, but I'll show you kind of how this stuff works. So here's, oops, wrong. I wanted to go to endpoints. Okay, so now I'm on channel 2, which I don't want. I want channel 1 endpoint. Okay, and so then I go end, and it'll start making that flash. And so whatever way I'm turning that I want more. So I have way too much probably this way, so we'll turn it down. Let's turn it down to 100 and see what it looks like. Okay. That's just perfect. Just starting to touch that little screw. That's full. Okay. Now when we go this way, okay, I'm at 86. So let's turn that up to 100 and see what it looks like. Okay, getting really close to touching that little screw. Maybe could go just a little bit more. Let's try 110. Nope, I'm not getting any closer to the screw, so I'm getting a feeling. Oh, I did it the wrong way. I did the wrong one. Turn that down to 100. Okay, now I got to go this way, and then I can turn this one up to 110. See if it changes where it is. Yeah, just about touching the screw now. Just about touching the screw there. That's really pretty much full on. Okay. Okay, and there's forward. You can set your dual rates. You can set all kinds of stuff in here. You can go and change anything you want, you know, and that's kind of handy. So there's channel 1 dual rate we don't want to change, but we want to change channel 2 dual rate. Alright, so then you hit end. Okay, channel 2 is my throttle. So I can turn that up to 100, and you can see what the full deal is with it. Okay, let's go back, get out of that. You see, that's a fair amount of speed. And when you let off the trigger, it coasts down. So there won't be any gear train damage. And when you when you go forward a little bit, it acts as a brake. So he'll just have to learn that. And it has a little pause before reverse, which is actually going to save that plastic spur gear from a lot of damage. One thing I've always noticed about HB Rovers is that, I guess because of the foams and they do these bunch up and stuff, is it seems like until you've squished them and played with them and messed with them a lot, it's hard to get them to be totally round. You can see it looks a little bit out of round. I spent a great deal of time mounting these to make sure they were just right. I played with those foams forever to get them just as lined up as I could. It just seems to be the nature of the HB Rovers and the foams. They just don't look round and mixed in. But we got plenty of power. Which is so much better than before. Now I don't want to run it on the ground. I spent a lot of time washing these tires. I took them off the rims. I washed them with Simple Green and a scrub brush, and I dried them inside and out. I turned them inside out and dried them off with a towel. Then I mounted them. And this is just how it's going to look when he gets it. As new as it gets. We've got a few little scratches and scrapes on it. Okay? Which I put on there from testing it. And he'll just have to know that Pops had some fun with it, a little bit of fun with it. I wish I could run it for you because it looks bad to the bone. Look at it doing a little dance when you do a turn. My son's going to like that too. I like that. Look at that little dance. That's so funny. She shakes her booty. She's shaking her booty. It's so nice. I really want to run it. A lot of torque spin, huh? Look at how much it does. I might have to put a shock collar on one side. Let's see, when you take off, it wants to jump down on this side. So I could put a couple of shock collars on there and see what that does. Yeah, man, I really want to play with this thing. I really do, but I don't want to get it dirty.